Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Mbak Sulastani Usna.
And I am Nur Hasanah.
Okay, we are from 13th group, class 4C in the English study program. We'll make a video with a topic IELTS speaking. Okay, stand by in my video. Dadah.
Okay, the first question: do you have a mobile phone?
Yes, I do. I exactly can image my daily life without my mobile phone. I use it for many things, not only for communication but also for studying and entertainment. For example, I often use my phone to check my schedule, search for information, and access learning platforms. Besides that, I also use social media to stay connected with my friends and family, especially those who live far away. And in addition, my phone helps me manage my time better because I can set reminders and organize my tasks. I also enjoy watching videos or listening to music when I feel stressed. So overall, my mobile phone is not just a communication tool, but it's also an important part of my daily routine.
Okay, the second question: at what age did you first get a mobile?
I got my first mobile phone when I was 16 years old, when I was in the third grade of vocational high school. At that time, I really need a phone to support my daily activities, especially for school and communication. My parents finally allow me to have one because I had more responsibilities, such as group assignments and sometimes staying longer at school. Having a mobile phone made it much easier for me to stay in touch with my classmates and teacher. Besides that, I also start using it for studying, like searching for information and accessing online materials. So, getting my first phone at that age was quite important for me because it helped it helped me become more independent and productive.
Okay, the third question: what do you most use it for?
Most use. I mostly use my mobile phone for communication and studying. For communication, I usually use messaging apps to chat with my friends, classmates, and family. It's very convenient because I can stay connected anytime and anywhere. For studying, I often use my phone to search for information, watch educational videos, and sometimes join online classes. Um, it really helps me understand lesson better, especially when I need additional explanation. Apart from that, I also use my phone for entertainment, like watching movies or scrolling through social media. But I try to limit that so it doesn't disrupt my productivity. So overall, my main focus is still on communication and learning.
Okay, the fourth question: it is means if people use mobile in public place, such as trains and bus.
Um, well, I think it depends on how people use their mobile phones in public place. Um, if they use it quietly, like texting or using earphones while watching videos, then it's completely fine and not disturbing at all. However, it can become a nuisance when people speak loudly on the phone or play music without earphones, especially in crowd places like trains or Yes. It can be quite annoying for others who want a peaceful environment. Um, in my opinion, people should be more aware of their surroundings and try to respect others. Using a phone is normal, but we should use it in a valid and considerate way. So it's not the phone itself that's the problem, but the way people use it. Okay. Okay, I will to continue ask for you about describe to apa exciting experience in our lives.
One of the exciting experience in my life was my first trip to Sembalun. The experience took place last year during my school holiday. It was a special moment for me because it was my first traveling there, and I had been waiting for this trip too long time. The experience took place in Sembalun, a beautiful village near Mount Rinjani. I went there with my friend and we were very excited to explore a new place together. What happened exactly was that we traveled for several hours to reach Sembalun. When we arrived, we saw amazing green hills, fresh air, and a very peaceful environment. We took many photos, walked around the village, and enjoyed the beautiful scenery. We all started local food and spent time relaxing together. The ski was very beautiful with orange and pink colors. And then the view of the mountain Rinjani incredible.
Wow.
Was incredible. This experience was so exciting because it was my first time visiting Sembalun and then seeing such beautiful nature. It also made me feel happy, relaxed, and closer to my friend. I will never forget that amazing experience and I hope can visit Sembalun again in the future.
Okay. The next question I want to ask for you about what ways becoming safer and what ways is it becoming more dangerous?
It was my life becoming is safer and it was why it's becoming more healthcare. Life is becoming safer thanks to technology and better healthcare. Medicine help people recover faster, and systems like CCTV improve security. Transportation is all safer today. However, there are new dangers such as cybercrime, pollution, and overuse of technology, and then which can affect our health. In conclusion, life is safer but also brings new risks. So we life is safer in terms of convenience and protection. There are still new types of dangers that we need to be careful about.
Okay.
Okay, next I wanna ask you. So people always avoid dangers, or it is a good idea something to take risks?
Okay. I think people shouldn't always avoid dangers completely because taking risks can sometimes be a good thing. In fact, some level of risks is necessary for personal growth and development. For example, trying something new, like studying abroad or starting a new project, can feel risks, but it often leads to valuable experience and new opportunities. However, I believe it's important to take calculate risks, not reckless ones. People should think carefully about the possible consequence before making decisions. If the risk is too dangerous or harmful, then it's better to avoid it. So overall, taking risks is important, but it should be done wisely and responsibly. Okay, the next question for you about what risks people try to avoid.
Right, yeah. I think people should try avoid unnecessary and dangerous risks in their daily lives. For example, they should avoid reckless driving because it can lead to serious accidents. It is also important to avoid unhealthy habits such as smoking, eating too much junk food, or not getting enough sleep. Another important risk to avoid is trusting strangers too easily. Especially on the internet, people should be carefully about sharing and then personal information online because it can lead to scam or identity theft. In general, people should think carefully before making this discussion and consider the possible consequences. Avoiding these risks can help them live a safer and healthier life.
Okay.
Do you think people take fewer risks as they grow older?
Yes.
Why not?
I think people generally take fewer risks as they grow older. One reason is that they have more responsibilities, such as family, career, and financial stability. Because of that, they run to the more carefully and avoid decisions that could negatively affect their lives. Um, in addition, older people usually have more life experience, so they are more aware of the possible consequence of risk actions. This makes them think twice before doing some things uncertain. However, I don't think this applies to everyone. Some people still enjoy taking risks even while they are older, especially if they when they all are older, especially if they see it as a way to keep life exciting. So it really depends on the individual's personality and mindset. Okay, the next question for me about how important is it to have adventure in our lives.
Oh, I think having adventure our life is very important. Adventure help us try new things and gain new experience. It can make life more exciting and less boring. And then, for example, traveling to new place or trying new activities can help us learn more about the world and ourselves. Adventure can also build our confidence because we learn to face challenges and overcome our fears. However, it is important to take safe and responsible adventure. We we should not take extreme risks that can harm us. In conclusion, adventure is important because it helps us grow, learn, and enjoy life more. What do people learn about themselves from having adventure?
Okay, I think people can learn many important things about themselves from having adventures. The first is they can discover their strengths and weakness. For example, when facing a difficult situation, they might realize that they are actually stronger and more frightened than they thought. The second is adventures can help people build confidence when they successfully overcome challenge. They feel more confident in their abilities. And finally, people can also learn about their preference, such as what they enjoy or what they are afraid of. This helps them understand themselves better. So, overall, adventures are not only exciting, but also very important, very meaningful for personal growth and self discovery. Okay,